Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Divalog. I hope you all are doing well and feeling all festive up. Now for today's video, I wanted to do an in-depth tutorial since I've been missing them so much, and I thought what better way to get back into it by doing a sexy smoky cold rimmed eye, because for the festive season I feel like this is a classical and evergreen style. It looks good with everything, especially if you are going to be wearing a black suit, black bindi, gold jewelry. Oof, this look, I love it so much. But I'm not going to blabber much because this video is going to be slightly longer. So without any further ado, if you want to know how you can get the sexiest cold rimmed eyes, then please keep on watching. I'm starting off with my base makeup already done. Now, if you are someone who prefers to do their eye makeup before their base makeup, feel free to use these same techniques, do your eye makeup and then move on to your base. Personally, for me, I prefer to have my base on and then I do my eyes. But I'm going to first do my eyebrows because your eyebrows frame your face and make your makeup look so much more defined. And to do my brows, I have Benefits Precisely my brow pencil with me right here. Now, this is a beautiful slim eyebrow pencil. I really enjoy using this. But I'm going to first spoolie my eyebrows out to ensure there is no foundation or knots in my brows. And my brows can easily just, get combed out and be defined. Then I'm just going to start by defining the lower part of my brow first. So I'm just filling into the sparse gaps over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip onto the spoolie side and I'm going to brush this upwards. This would mimic my hair growth and would ensure that the line that we've created does not look that harsh or stark. I want it to just get blended into my brows really seamlessly. So it instantly fills in your brows for you without you having to make hair strokes like that. Can you see the difference? Just filling in your brow makes it automatically frames your face so well. Now, if you're someone who has really full, thick eyebrows, you can just go in directly with the brow gel and brush through your brows. If you have very sparse eyebrows, you can go in with the powder to ensure you also have a little bit more volume and fluff to your brows. But a pencil is my personal favorite choice of weapon. So I'm going to do my other brow now and ensure that they are as symmetrical as they can be. My eyebrows are definitely not sisters. They're not even cousins. They are not even friends, honestly. They're very different in shape, the arch, the way they're positioned and everything. So I just like to fill them in as naturally as they are. I don't try to make them look like twins any longer. I used to back in the day, like I used to map them out and everything. Now I just go with the flow. Next up, I'm going to move on to a brow mascara and I have this tinted version from NYX right here. And this has been my favorite brow combination. Benefit Precisely my brow and this NYX gel. This has been my holy grail. Now, what I like to do with this one is I just brush my brows straight up through. The thing is, I have really stubborn brow hair, so they don't stay fluffed up like this. They settle down slightly, so I don't have to settle them down myself. Now, if you have brow hair that will stick up like that, all you need to do is once you're done combing it up, just comb it down gently like that to make sure that it falls in line, but it does not fall flat. So I'm just going to add volume to my brow by brushing them straight up so that by the end of the video or by the end of my makeup look, they can settle down into place but still have a little bit of volume. Another thing that I like to do is I like to take a gel that's slightly lighter than my hair color. This adds texture and dimension to my hair. If I was to use the same colored gel as of my hair, it would not add any texture. So this is sort of adding like a highlight or a low light to your hair, which just instantly again makes a huge difference, as you can see, not only in the volume but also in the way your hair would reflect light. This is again a very small detail but makes a world of a difference. And now onto the actual eye makeup. We'll start off by taking a creamy and pigmented kajal. If you already have one that you love, just feel free to use that. I would highly recommend MAC's in Extreme Dimension kajal. Now this is a mini size, but it would last you for a really long time because the pigments are tightly packed, so you don't need to use a lot or you don't need to retouch a lot with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by lining my eyes. As you can see, this glides on so easily. It's so creamy and so jet black. Now I've already used a little bit of concealer and powder on my lid, so that has primed my lid before. But if you want, you can also go ahead with an eyelid primer if you have extremely oily lids. So I am just going to line my eyes. You don't need to be the most precise with this, but make sure you're not too sloppy as well. Like, you don't want to line this too thickly. You want to keep it semi-thick, not super thin, not super thick, just somewhere in between. And then I'm going to move on to a stiff shader brush. So I'm going to quickly show you. This is a very stiff brush. It's not a floppy brush and it's a synthetic detailer brush. This is not natural bristle. It's synthetic and it's stiff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth. Now this brush does not have any product on it. No eyeshadow, no kajal, no liner. Right now you want to go in with the plain, just empty brush, all right, and just go back and forth on your liner with a very light hand. You see, I'm holding my brush from afar. I'm not holding it from near. If you hold it from near, you're applying a lot of pressure, but hold it from afar but still have a nice grip. and then go back and forth on your eyes. I'm almost placing this flat on my eyes like that. It's not poking my eyes like this. It is sort of flat and it's going back and forth. Now you do want to work slightly quickly with this kajal because this does set into place relatively quickly, but again, because it is emollient, you have a little bit of downtime, so it's like finding your sweet spot, like how much time you would require to blend it out. But yes, I'm just going to be smudging this liner out very, very gently across my eyes. You see how we got that beautiful soft definition already? This is because we used a plain brush and no product on top of it. If we were to go in with an eyeshadow right now and then smudge it, and if we lost control, we would have had product all over our eyes, which would have ended up in raccoon eyes. Right now, you just want to have a feeler of how the liner is going to look on your eyes. And I honestly just love a soft liner like this as well. You can go ahead and just keep the liner like this if you want to, and if you don't want to go around with the other steps that we are going to be doing. But of course, the more steps you include, the more dramatic and gorgeous and smoky and blended it is going to look. But even just this looks really, really nice. Obviously, it will take a little bit of practice to know how quickly you need to blend, to know how you need to hold your brush and everything. Just practice on yourself. Practice is the only thing that will get you there. Again, make sure you know the placement of holding your brush. It's very important. Don't hold it from really close by. Don't hold it from extremely back. Somewhere in between, and then keep it slightly flat on your lid, not vertically like this. You don't want to poke your eyes. You just want to keep it flat so that it's soft on your skin. Now, if you look closely, I have lined this eye slightly thicker than this eye, and that is because, like most people, my eyes are uneven. I have more lid space on this eye than I have on this eye. This eye is slightly hooded, so when I open it up, most of my makeup on this eye gets hidden. So this way, I have balanced my eyes so they don't end up looking wonky. And this is going to be something so personal to you and your eyes. So again, this is something that will take practice. Just notice yourself in the mirror. Notice how different makeup looks different on both of the eyes, and just figure out what will work the best for you to balance them out. All right, now let's move on to eyeshadow. And for my eyeshadow, I'm going to be using my Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered palette. This palette is quite beaten down. I have used a lot of it, and it's definitely worth the investment. I think right now they must be having some or the other sales going on this one, because this frequently goes on sale, like frequently. So definitely check it out on a discount. Don't buy it full price. If you can get a discount, always get a discount. I'm going to go in with a pencil brush, and this is a natural fiber pencil brush. Again, you can use a synthetic one if you want, but natural fibers work really well with matte eyeshadows because they blend it in really nicely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this deeper brown shade. This is called Oud, and as you can see clearly, I love it a lot. And this pencil brush is semi thick. It's not super thin, it's not super thick. So I'm going to coat my brush completely, like in a 360 way. I'm not coating just one side, I'm coating it completely, dusting off the excess. It's really, really important. I'll show you what happens if you don't dust off the excess. So I picked it up. I have product on my brush, and then when I go on my eye and I put it back and forth, I have product that comes up and kicks out, and that would leave onto a lot of fallout as well. So if you take up a little bit of product, I've just picked up more. If you dust off the excess so that you don't have excess powder on here, and then when you go like this, you have lesser product that goes on, but there is no fallout or side deposition as well. So you always want to dust off the excess. That's very, very important. So now finally I'm going to pick up a little bit of oud completely on my brush, dusting off the excess, making sure there is not a lot of powder. I'm going to go on top of my liner. Again, I'm holding my brush semi afar, keeping it slightly flat on the eyes, and I'm going very, very softly on my eyes. I'm just looking to smoke it out even more. So we are creating a gradient and ombre of sorts, so that we transition from deep black to lighter brown. So I'm just going to ensure that we have that softness going on our eyes. We don't want any harsh edges. Again, I'm not poking my eyes, you guys. I'm not applying any pressure. It's very, very softly placed on my eyes. With every step, I want you guys to start seeing a difference in both of the eyes. So right now, we have an ombre, a gradient on both of the eyes. But see how this one is so much more softer than this one is? Both of them are smoky, but this one just has a little bit of more oomph to it. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other eye, and then we'll move on to our next step. Okay guys, now I'm going to move on to a shader blender brush. Again, this is a natural fiber brush because we are working with mattes today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the shade Sandalwood. As you can see, again, a shade that I really, really love. And right now we are not going to be blending this on our liner. What we are going to be doing is first, of course, dusting off the excess, and we're going to work in our crease right now. Now we want to start defining our crease as well because we want a little bit of depth on our eyes. The The thing is, when you are doing smoky liner, your eyes can look very heavy, and this would ensure your eyes look more protruding rather than set in the right place. So adding that depth in your crease would ensure your eyes don't look like they're going to pop out of the socket. So I'm just going to add that depth back into my eye that we had taken away with our concealer and our primer. And we use a shade that's not extremely deep. We use a shade that is, I would say, about 3 to 4 shades deeper than your own skin tone. So sandalwood is very complementary to my skin tone. It's not super deep. For example, oud is pretty deeper than my skin tone. Even henna is deeper, but sandalwood is 3 to 4 shades deeper. You can also use a bronzer for this if you want, but I'm just going to be placing this right here in my crease. And now if you see, if you compare both of the eyes side by side, you can see how this one starts to look more set in and not as, poppy this one looks. Let's talk about the blending technique for this as well. Again, we're holding the brush from slightly afar, and then we're going to place this on slightly straighter, but again with no pressure. Straight first, going in circular motions and creating a nice color deposit over there. Then we're going to start moving back and forth. So we are using windshield wiper and circular motion in combination. Now, using a combination of this would ensure that you are keeping your circles rather smaller. A lot of times when you're just using circular motion in one place, we tend to go rather large with our circles, and that ensures that your eyeshadow gets everywhere. So what you want to do is keep a combination of these and keep your circles smaller so that the color is restricted to where you want it to be. Now I'm going to go back in with my pencil brush, and we're going to go back into oud, but very lightly, guys. You don't want to overdo this. And again, I'm just going to place this one in my crease in that same motion. So right now we are placing our brush slightly vertical to our eyes, like completely parallel like that. And then we're just going to place it right here. I'm first just placing my color again because I don't want the color to have a wild run and go everywhere. And once I'm done with placing that, I'm going to go back into my blending brush that I use sandalwood with, and I'm going to use that to blend it out again in circular and windshield wiper motions. I'm not blending out with my pencil brush because again that will deposit more and more color, and that will ensure that my crease is way more deeper than what I intended to be. Right now we're just looking for a soft definition. We are not looking for smoky crease. All right, so I'm just going to be blending this out, and if you need the help of more eyeshadow, grab the lighter eyeshadow, not the deeper one. Blend with the lighter eyeshadow. If you feel like you've gone slightly darker and you don't want it to be that dark, you can go in with your face powder and fix it up. And now to get the ultimate smoky effect, I'm going to take a very tiny detailer brush. This is synthetic because we're not looking to blend a lot of this eyeshadow, but more so just place it really tightly. And I'm going to go in the shade Black Truthful. You can take any black eyeshadow. This would set your liner down. So I'm just picking up a little bit of this just on the tip of my brush. I'm not fully coating the brush like completely, but just the tip because I want this to be very restricted. And then I'm going to start applying this as close as I can to the lash line. I'm not covering the whole of my liner up because you worked so hard on getting that smokiness. You don't want to cover that up and then blend again. That makes no sense. Just try to keep it more restricted towards your liner, like your lash line. And once you are done with that, make sure you don't have a lot of product on your brush. You can also swipe away the excess that you have on your brush, so you have very little amount. And then again, just keep this slightly flat on the eyes and start blending this out. Now because our liner is so close to the lash line, once we blend it out, it won't go too higher up. It would just go away till we have the blend, so that blend would become even more intense. So we are looking at that intensity to just make sure that our eyes look very soft yet smoky. We are going to be building this black up, and you can build it up as much as you want. This is completely up to you. See, look at that difference. Just one black eyeshadow and a huge difference is there. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my Kajal and I'm going to line my waterline with this to get the cold rim look that we are going for. And for this, I'm going to drop my chin down towards my throat so that my eyes can pop out like that and my waterline becomes more accessible. Now, you don't want to push your eyes back or drag them down because the skin near your eyes is super sensitive and this just damages it. So just draw your chin back like that and your eyes automatically will give you way. And then take your pencil and start lining your eyes. You see, even without the usage of any fingers or any pushing or pressing, you can easily line your waterline. You can also close your eyes right now so that you tight line. Now, if you just want to tight line and you don't want to line your waterline, you do the exact opposite of what we've done. So you start looking up like that. So your waterline, the upper waterline is more accessible, and then you place your liner and start tight lining. Now, this is a great way of lining your eyes without having to push or tug on your eyes, and that is so important. But yes, currently, because I'm tight lining both my lower and my upper waterline, I can just close my eyes and run my pencil back and forth to get a beautiful dark pigment on my waterline. Also, quick tip, make sure you line the innermost corner right here because that makes a very big difference. A lot of times we stop before the pink part but go completely in, and that instantly makes the whole look so much more sexier. See, this is what I mean. On this eye, I stopped before the pink part, but on this one, I went completely in. And again, it's a very small step, but it makes such a huge difference to the overall look. And now we're gonna smoke out the lower lash line, and for that, I'm gonna go back in with my pencil brush and our oud shade. I'm gonna pick this up, dust off the excess, and I'm gonna start working gently, just how we did on the upper lash line. Again, we are placing the brush slightly flatter on our lower lash line, and we are going back and forth. We will be lining our eyes with black eyeshadow as well, but that will be the last step. So basically, what we did on our upper lash line with the eyeshadows is what we are doing on our lower lash line. So the first eyeshadow that we used was oud, and that's what we're using on our lower lash line as well. So just remember the order that you apply your eyeshadows in and just repeat. That is as simple as it gets. Now, the reason why we smoke the lower lash line out is pretty evident from my face. Of course, it adds a smoky sexiness, but what it also does is it brings balance to your eyes. If you look at my right eye, you can see how it looks balanced because there's depth on both upper and lower eye. But my left eye looks pretty wonky because there's not enough depth on the lower eyes while there is a lot of depth on the upper eyes. So if you want to balance your eyes out and make them look non-wonky, then always ensure that you're balancing them both by adding enough depth to both of them. And now to ensure there is no harshness between the dark brown shade and my skin, I'm going to go back into my blender shade of brush and my sandalwood shade, which is slightly more closer to my skin tone. Dusting off the excess, I'm going to ensure I blend that into my skin. Now, this is very crucial because you want that smokiness to be there. If you just have a harsh brown line, it's not going to look smoky. It's just going to look what it is, a harsh brown line. So just ensure that you softly go on top of or on bottom of the eyeshadow and make sure it blends into your skin. And now we're going to go back into the black eyeshadow, and this is what will add our smoky element back to our look. Dusting off the excess, what I'm going to do is, again, you want to keep it close to the lash line, but this time we are smoking out the kajal from our waterline onto our lower lash line, and we already have that beautiful base of brown so that the smokiness comes through and it does not look stark at all. So I'm going back and forth again, and I'm keeping it the brush slightly flat on my eyes, and I'm just making sure that we have that nice smokiness going on. Again, even though it's not completely blended out, you can see how that instantly looks so much more softer and not as harsh as this eye looks. As I said, guys, each step is there for a reason and each step will make a difference, and you can see it through this tutorial. One thing to keep in mind is whenever you are completely rimming your eyes can look pretty shut down because you're adding a lot of darkness to your eyes. Again, to balance it out, you want to highlight your inner corner. Now, if you want to keep this look completely matte, you can highlight with a lighter powder, like maybe say a couple of shades lighter than your skin tone, but I don't mind a blingy and shimmery inner corner highlight. So I'm going in with a pencil brush, and this is a synthetic pencil brush because I am going to be working with shimmers, and synthetics work better with shimmers. And I'm going to pick up the shade Bubbly and Moondust, like a mixture of Bubbly and Moondust. So this is more pink tone, this is more yellow or neutral undertone. So I'm mixing both of these up, and I'm going to be placing this in my inner corner just to bring some light. I'm doing so very softly. Again, you can use your highlighter that you used on your face for this. You don't need to use an eyeshadow per se, but I just have this on hand, so I'm using this. This would ensure that your eyes instantly have a lot of brightness to them, and your eyes won't look as shut down or as closed, but they would look the size that they are. We are not aiming to make your eyes look bigger, brighter, doe-eyed, but we're just aiming to make sure that they look the size they are. All right. So I'm just placing this here. Now, if you want to highlight your brow bone, you can, but I want to keep my whole eye area pretty matte like it is, and I like that look. Now, time for a super important step, as this would bring your whole makeup together. We're talking about mascara, and I have Lash Princess by Essence with me right here. This is a beautiful mascara, gives you length, volume, separation, everything. Now, I am a false lash girl and I will be putting on false lashes, but you don't need to put on false lashes. Just a good coat of mascara would do it for you. So I'm just going to take this mascara and we're going to apply this on our lashes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the very base of my eyes. So right here, again, I'm not poking my eyes with this, guys. If you can see, it's the base of my lashes. and then I'm going to go in back and forth motion and bring this up as well. So we are doing this essentially. We are going up as well and side by side as well. We are not just wiggling it on the base and keeping it there, but we are completely coating our whole eye. You can also do one thing. You can just take the tip of it and apply on your lashes like this. If you have shorter stubby lashes that does not get coated with the wand completely, you can go back and forth with that so that your lashes get some mascara action going on. But you can also go like this if you have a little bit more lash length that can work with a mascara wand. So once again, you get a hang of this only with practice, that you can do it quickly, like going back and forth and up together like I am right now. If you can't do it instantly, don't feel beat down. Everything in life is about practice. And if by chance you get any mascara on your face or on your eyes, don't worry again. Let it completely dry down and then it will easily flake off. If you try to remove it when it's wet, you will get raccoon eyes, and that's not the look we are going for today. Now, this is the classical case of why a good mascara is very important in your life. Like, we all know mascaras are important, but this is the reason. You see how it has enhanced the smokiness and it makes my eyes appear much more open because the lashes are lifted up and they're not straight like that. So this has added a lot of space to your eyes, and this just makes a world of a difference, guys. You can see clearly. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. Now again, if you're someone who loves to use a lash curler, by all means go ahead and use that. I personally feel like they're torture devices, and you get good curling mascaras in the market now. So I skip on a lash curler. I just go in with a good mascara and I'm sorted. And anyway, I apply falsies, so I'm pretty sorted. But if you want to and if you like a lash curler, feel free to use it. Now coming on to the lashes, I'm going to use my Swiss Beauty Lash Book, and this is in the Dream variant, and I'm going to use this last pair because it's a quite natural and wispy pair. The thing is, I don't want to use extremely heavy lashes today because I want the smokiness to peep through. If I use very heavy lashes, then the smokiness would be completely hidden and it would just defeat the purpose of us working so hard with smoking all of this out. I'm going to quickly show you these lashes and how natural these are. Like, they're pretty natural. They're not a heavy pair of lash at all. And I'm going to use my Miss Claire eyelash adhesive. Please don't mind the state that this glue is in. Eyelash glues, no matter how clean you keep them, just tend to have residue on them every single time. And now I'll show you how I apply my lashes. So this is a press tube. It's not a brush on tube. I generally prefer brush tubes because they're much more easier to apply. But this is what I have right now and this is how I apply them. So I like to take my lash and I pinch it in between my thumb and my index finger like this so that the band is facing upwards. Then I take my lash glue separately. I don't apply it directly like that. And I take a little bit of glue out. This takes a little concentration. So you just want to get some glue out. All right. So once you have that glue out, you can just start applying this on your lashes. The reason why we are not directly pressing it onto the lash band is sometimes a lot of glue can come out because you're not in control of the pressure, or just the amount that will come out in general. So you don't want that to happen because it would cover up the lashes as well, and then it will stick to your lashes. It's going to be a nightmare. So just get a little bit of glue out and then just spread it nicely. A lot of people also like to take glue on the back of their hands. I personally don't like it because it reminds me of Fevicol from school. So I like to go this way. Then I just cover my lash glue back up, and I give about 15 to 20 seconds for my lash glue to become a little tacky. You don't want to go with directly wet glue like that. Again, I'm pinching it in between my index finger and my thumb because that gives me a lot of control over my lash and how I'm placing it. So I'm just going to fan it out a little to expedite the process of it getting tacky so that it can stick quicker on my eyes. Now, the good thing is because we have like a black liner on, even if you mess up the placement of the lash a little, it's not going to be that visible. That is a nightmare that I live with because I don't apply a liner every single time. So I have to be very precise with my lash placement. Otherwise, it will look wonky, but this is a saving grace. So now I think it's been a good 15-20 seconds. My timeline would be able to tell better. But yeah, once your lash glue has become slightly tacky, all you need to do is just look down like that with your eyes. Like, take your face upwards like that, but your eyes downwards. So you're not looking up like that, but looking down so that you have your lid space to work with. Take your lash and take it from up like that, and then just place it gently as close as you can to your lash line. So you place it like that, and then you can look forward and then start adjusting wherever you need to adjust. And if you have an area that's rather difficult to stick, for me, my inner corners take a long time in sticking and they don't stay like that. What you can do is just hold your lashes, like pinch it from the actual lash and hold it like that so that it sticks down completely there. Or you can also use a thin brush like this, and then just press it down like that so that it sticks to your lash line. These are some quick little hacks that I wanted to share with you guys for lash application, because I know lash application for a lot of people is a nightmare. Now this glue will dry down to be completely transparent, but what you can also do is you can go back in with your black eyeshadow and cover the band up if you feel like you need to cover it up. But I'm going to ensure that my lashes completely stick down. Again, my inner corners will take the most time, so let me just quickly do it and I'll be back. Now I know I said lashes are not mandatory, but a pair won't hurt you guys, because look at the difference that they make, especially when you look down, because your lashes look so much fuller. And this is a natural pair, you guys. If you go for slightly dramatic look, then your whole eye look is changed. So if you want to take your look a notch higher, then definitely invest in a pair of lashes. And these Swiss Beauty ones are actually pretty cheap and so bomb. And now we just have the lip color to finish things off. And honestly, guys, you can apply any lipstick under the sun that you want to, because while this look is pretty dramatic, it's also very neutral. So you don't have to think about undertones and all of that, like is it matching or whatever, because every color will match. So if you want to keep things slightly spicy and dramatic, you can always go for a red, a hot pink, a wine, a maroon, or whatever it is that your heart desires. I'm going to take the safe route, that is the nude route. I have Cinnamon Nude from Kiro Beauty with me right here. I recently talked about this lipstick as well. Love the formulation, love the color, love everything. It's a cool tone brown, and I think that's going to be very flattering with this eye look. So I'm just going to apply this all over my lips, and already I can see that I am in love. It's such a beautiful color, you guys. So I'm going to cover my lips completely with this one to finish off the look. And with that, we're done with this look. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm not going to blabber much in the outro because you've heard me talking a lot during the video. But if you do end up recreating this look, then please do share your looks with me on my social media. I would love to check them out. Also, let me know if you guys want me to do more in-depth tutorials, and I would love to do them. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, take care. I love you all so much. Mwah. Bye.